I'm sure some of you guys are aware of what's going on, but if you're not, ASAP Rocky is currently in court facing pretty lengthy jail time because he's rejected a plea deal. Essentially, the case is this: ASAP Rocky got into some sort of fight altercation with one of the members of ASAP Mob called ASAP Relli. He's like an OG member from behind the scenes things. You probably would have seen him in the background of some covers and shit. Big black dude. He's probably the tallest one in the group. They got into some sort of altercation in LA, which resulted in Rocky shooting a gun or firing his gun at this guy called Relli. Allegedly, the gun bullet grazed his knuckles, hit his hand or something, and now he's pressing charges against Rocky. And Rocky is facing up to, I think, like 20 years in prison. And if you saw what happened to, Tory Lanez in LA don't play. LA courtrooms and whatever California, they don't play when it comes to guns, especially when felons have got it. I think Rocky might be a felon. I'm not too sure, or just in general, if it's not registered, they don't play too many games because I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken, they couldn't even prove if Tory actually shot that gun at Megan, but he had the gun anyway and he got what he got. So it's not looking good if you see what Tory Lanez got in terms of jail time. I'm still confused why Rocky didn't take the plea deal, and I think the plea deal would have seen him sit down for like 6 months or something. But then he argues if he would have taken that plea deal, he would have automatically lost loads of endorsements and deals, and maybe the ability to go to Paris Fashion Week right now. I don't know. Regardless, weird situation. So, Relli alleges that he shot him. Rocky's defense is that it wasn't a real gun; it was a prop gun that he carries for self-defense, and I guess to scare away perpetrators and shit. So now they're in court, basically going through what they're going through, and the court case seems to be going through pretty quickly. Because the key witness in this, the person that's a victim, has already hit the stands, ASAP Relli. And he got on stand and said the following, which is very damning. And if anything, kind of concretely means that most likely Rocky's going to be found guilty. If he's not found guilty, it's a miracle. Maybe it's going to help because he's married or, he's with Rihanna and she's got good resources to basically help him fight this case. But I've not seen any situation. I think somebody mentioned, I've got who mentioned it, but it's a good point that very rarely do you see a situation where somebody as a victim of gun crime goes up and testifies and that person that did it to them doesn't get some prison time. It rarely happens. If it goes to court, it means that there's enough evidence to, take it to court. And most likely this means he's going to face some time. So I'm still sitting here thinking, why did Rocky reject that plea deal? That was like 6 months in prison, 6 months in jail. Like, it would I guess it would have been a blotch on his record, but still, 6 months v fucking 10 years. I know which one I'm gonna pick. But anyway, this is ASAP Relli testifying that ASAP Rocky shot him.
He pointed at me, and then that's when Elijah was like in between, and he's like, "I'll kill you right now, pussy," or like whatever, like just was. And then I'm right behind Elijah, and I'm saying, "If you brought a gun, use it then." Like, the fuck you brought a gun for, pussy? That's the words I was saying to him.
That's crazy, isn't it, right? Like, taking away what happened to him, but in terms of like street, hood, politics, logic, and way of life, daring somebody to shoot you, saying, "Shoot me then, pussy," and then them shooting you, and then you going to snitch is absolutely wild. Rocky's got to be so mad. You goad somebody into shooting you. Like, yeah, why you got a gun for, pussy? Who do you think you are? You think you're some big man because you got a gun? Fuck off, man. You're a dick. You're a mutt. You're wet. You're moist. You're a pussy. You ain't gonna fire this gun. He fires his gun. He hits you. And then you have that shocked Pikachu face. And then you go and snitch. But in another way, Rocky being easily triggered like this and being quick to shoot somebody also shows how much of a short temper he must have, because this is his boy. This isn't like a stranger. To shoot someone like this over, and if I'm not mistaken, the reason why this argument even happened, which is really pathetic, I watched a YouTube video where somebody alleges that the reason why these guys fell out was because this guy felt like Rocky wasn't giving back to the mob, ASAP mob, wasn't helping out people with their careers, was all about Rocky. And then in the course of them going back and forth with that sort of feeling, animosity between them each other, one of their members, one of their extended members or whatever in their crew died, and this guy on the screen thought that Rocky didn't pay for the funeral, even though Rocky did pay for the funeral. So he started bad mouthing Rocky behind his back to everybody he could say it to. It got back to Rocky. Rocky didn't like it, so Rocky then said, "I'm gonna beat this guy up." So he then calls this guy and says, hey, meet me at this place with the intention of squabbling. I think this guy in the back of his head thinks they're going to squabble. Then when they get there, he pulls out the gun. So even the reason for why he fired his gun is stupid, right? It's really stupid because yes, you can have a falling out with your friends over money, can happen. But will you want to shoot your friend over, unless they, I don't know, even if they let you, even if they let money from you, there's no reason why you'd want to shoot your friend unless they brought a gun with them too. It should be something that could be easily sorted with some fisticuffs in an alleyway somewhere, you know. You can fucking shoot a fair one if you want to, but there's no need for to pull out guns. And now it's got to the point where Rocky's facing 20 years for not being able to just swallow whatever someone's saying about you, just let it lie, pretend he didn't hear it, and just keep it moving. It's not that big of a deal. But this is what happened.
When you said he pointed it at you, where on your body was it pointing?
Like towards my stomach, like towards like my headish a little. Like everything was happening so fast. So fast. You know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of
no. He was looking for a spot to shoot.
Jesus
okay.
Christ!
If wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened.
And you said as
he was looking for a shot to shoot me. If Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened. I think Elijah might be ASAP Ills, if I'm not mistaken. I think that might be ASAP Ills. ASAP Ills is the mixed race guy who's like standing in between them trying to block them, who's actually the nicest one. I've kind of exchanged some DMs with him in the past before. He's actually a nice dude, actually. He's actually an OG member of ASAP. Fuck, man. Fuck. Rocky is absolutely fucked.
he was pointing it at you is, what did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that
The lawyers as well. The lawyers make it worse. What did Rocky say when he pointed the gun at you? I'll kill you right now. Jesus Christ.
in an angry tone?
Yeah, he was livid.
Was his voice elevated? Like, was he yelling this at you, or was this something
Yeah.
he was saying quiet?
Yeah, because we was yelling back and forth at this point.
All right. And you said that after he pointed the gun at you, you became angry, correct?
Yeah, I became furious.
So what did you say back to him?
I told him to use it.
Why
Not
did you...
because mentally, like, I couldn't believe he just pulled the gun out on me. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you better use that shit. The fuck you got a gun for?
Can you explain, I want, as best you can to the jury, explain to them what you mean by, I can't believe you just pulled a gun on me. What is that? What do you mean by that?
Like, I physically cannot believe there was a gun in my face. Like, that was the breaking point for me. Because like what I said, I told this kid numerous times, if you have a problem with me, let me know. You know what I mean? I feel like this got to the max. Like, this was like no return. So if I was willing to die for my respect at this point, I don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like, if this is what you want to do, I still have my dignity. That's how I felt.
And what I get from this also, this A$AP Relli guy doesn't come across as big and bad and bossy as they try to make it seem. He seems very mild-mannered, soft-spoken, you know? He doesn't come across as like a guy that will be quick to fight anyway. So it seems like a very weird altercation to have with somebody in your group who you know isn't really about that, really, to go to that extent, you know? Because it'd be something if you would do this with like Bari, Young Lord, right? He's known for being a little bit, you know, aggressive and whatever. But this guy seems pretty, like, he seems like a big friendly giant, for lack of a better term. So for it to get to this level, when it was all about allegedly the rumor that he didn't pay for a funeral, yeah, I know that's kind of bad to hear. You don't want everyone to think that you're the rich guy in the crew and you're not kind of helping out your friends who are less fortunate. Yeah. But it shouldn't be serious enough to want to pull out a gun on somebody. Sorry, it's just not that deep. But this also speaks to the undercurrent, the underlying issues that must have been there in A$AP Mob that they did a good job to keep under wraps, to be fair. Give these guys credit. They did a really good job to keep it under wraps that they were beefing this whole time behind the scenes. We get some stuff from Ferg. I think Ferg even said recently the A$AP Mob is no longer there. It's no longer active. There is no A$AP Mob. But they've done a really good job over the years to keep a lot of their internal beef behind closed doors. We didn't really know about any of the fallings out, but it makes sense. Ever since Yams died, ever since that one guy died who's on A$AP Mob, RIP to him, I forgot his name, the one that rides bikes, he was very popular too. I think Yams was the glue that glued the team together. The guy that used to ride bikes that passed away. He was also a big member. He was also a big like behind the scenes person who kept the crew together. Ever since those two guys died, and maybe some other people, maybe even I'm thinking of the guy. I forgot his name. It's not Jay Stash. It's a Jay something. He's a guy that was used to hang out with. He was a little bit more hipster. And he was part of ASAP Mob. That guy that died too. He was another one that was also an integral part. So I wonder if the deaths over the years kind of caused this friction in the team, or if it's just a simple fact that in that crew, Rocky became a superstar, which is really odd, right? To think of. You think about it, like in a crew like that, for somebody to become a bona fide superstar, pop star person, he doesn't even have many albums. Doesn't really have that many. You know, he's not really. Even recent albums have been pretty shit. But Rocky's celebrity as a person is so big when you compare it to his music. But it's also really big compared to everybody else in the group. Like he is like 100 times famous than anybody else in that crew. So I could imagine it being all dudes, it'd be pretty difficult to navigate that. One person has everything. One person's going out with Iggy. One person's going out with Rihanna. One person's going, you know what I mean, going out all with fucking Kylie Jenner at one point. One person's at all the runway shows. One person's getting all the brand deals. It's probably quite hard to kind of swallow that and kind of play a position. And also if you're an artist, because I've always said in that ASAP Mob, I'm not gonna lie, I think weirdly enough, two rappers are the best in there who aren't even the most vocal or the most front facing. I've always felt the best rappers in ASAP were ASAP 12, ASAP Nast, who doesn't even make music anymore. He's just more of an influencer style kind of guy, but he's really talented as a musician, as a rapper. And there's another guy too, I forgot his name, who's got like a skateboarding brand. I forgot his name, but he's actually really decent too. He's actually doing a lot of Memphis type rap mixtapes. I forgot his fucking name, but I thought those three guys, Nast, 12, and the other dude who I forgot his name, they're actually the three best rappers I think in ASAP Mob. But the ones who got all the success and all the fame were Rocky and Ferg. So it must be difficult to kind of navigate that kind of thing, but pulling out a gun is no excuse. But another development in this story has been this information courtesy of Azealia Banks. Now, why is this pertinent and why is this important? If you know your ASAP Mob lore, you would know that Azealia Banks is like an OG member of ASAP Mob 2 because she used to date back in the day ASAP 12. She was ASAP 12's girlfriend, legit, for like a long time back in the day. So if you know about this like NYC lore and gossip and shit. So she knows a lot about ASAP Mob that she probably shouldn't know, you know, because of that connection that she has with them and because she's from the same place that they're from. So let's read her caption. She says the following: ASAP Relli and Knocker literally made Rocky. Rocky is not from Harlem like he says. So the fucking tea on this is Rocky corny ass had Rihanna in Harlem trying to show off and made the mistake of inviting Relli fine chocolate ass over, and of course Rihanna was all in his face flirting and shit. This is a crazy development. Azealia Banks is suggesting the reason why Rocky wanted to shoot Relli wasn't because of the rumor that he put out there that he was not paying for the funeral. The reason is because Rihanna was kind of fancying Relli, or maybe Relli made a move on Rihanna. Imagine if that happened. I don't believe it personally, but imagine. Rocky got jealous, invited him to meet up somewhere, pulled him in for a hug, and then really tried to shoot and kill him, all because Rihanna was looking. Relli ain't looking for no payday. He's genuinely deeply hurt because he believed in Rocky and considered him a friend. Rocky is responsible for ASAP Yam's overdose. This is a bit much, by the way. Azealia Banks always goes a bit much. This is a bit too crazy for me. Rocky is responsible for ASAP Yam's overdose because he would punk him in front of people, punch him in the chest knowing he had severe asthma, and send him into a spiral depression. He tried to self-medicate away with Xanax. Rocky gave Yam's mother a measly $60,000 after all Yams did to stylize him. I grew up with all these niggas. Rocky tried to shoot Relli and recklessly almost shot ASAP Ills. I don't give a fuck. Rocky needs to go to jail and pay Relli with whatever money he makes. This case is missing another count of attempted murder for Elijah, felony assault, illegal possession of a firearm, fraudulent inductment, coercion, intentional infliction of emotional distress, reckless endangerment, and everything possible. Fuck this nigga Rocky. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, do I believe this whole thing? No. But it does come from some level of authority because, like I said, Azealia Banks was very much connected to ASAP Mob due to her dating ASAP 12 back in the day. But I'm not too sure if I buy this story that Rihanna saw Relli at a party and went to fuck him. I don't think Rihanna's that reckless too. She knows how tight these guys are as brothers, as a crew. I'm not too sure she's gonna be like all up in someone's face. Do you know what I mean? I don't buy that. I don't buy that personally. But maybe, is there maybe some truth to it? Maybe she could have said something to Rocky like, oh my god, your friend's really fine. He's really hot, innit? Da, 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 da. And he maybe didn't take it too well. Maybe. But I don't know. Either way, crazy development. Let's see how it pans out. I'm still shocked to this day that Rocky rejected the plea deal. Let's see here. ASAP Rocky plea deal. I forgot it was really, really fucking short. Plea deal. Because I think it was a crazy short a time that he rejected. So let's see. This is courtesy of AP News. This is the plea deal that he rejected. So he's probably going to end up regretting this. Because if that guy went on the stand and said, hey, yeah, Rocky shot me, I don't see how he gets out of this, you know? Unless his defense can prove that. Because even if it was a prop gun, it doesn't matter really, does it? I don't think it really matters even if it was a prop gun. Yeah, there we go. ASAP Rocky turned down a final prosecution plea offer of 180 days in jail, risking it by going to court. 180 days he turned down. Which doesn't sound like too much really, when you consider that he's facing fucking 20 years or some shit. Rocky turned down a prosecution plea offer of 180 days in jail, risking the possibility of a guilty verdict and years in prison as jury selection begins. The agreement offered the 36-year-old rapper, fashion mogul and actor was a plea guilty to one of the 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic weapon. Los Angeles prosecution court could also recommend a 7-year suspended sentence and 3 years probation. So he rejected a plea deal that would have seen him sit down for 180 days. According to WAC 100, he said that he would have probably got half that time with good behavior. That's what WAC 100, you know, he's been in and out of prison. He knows the prison system. So he said he probably could have got done with that in half the time. And then I guess the other thing that maybe gave Rocky a little bit of pause was the fact that it would be a 7-year suspended sentence, which basically means 7 years of probation, which, you know, basically, which you have to be on good behavior. But again, if you're Rocky and you're a father and you're about to get married, why do you anticipate yourself getting in trouble in 7 years anyway? Just chill the fuck out. It's not that deep. You know, 7 years suspended sentence, 3 years of probation, and a 6-month jail term. So now he's looking at possibly 20 years. No, sorry, it's not 20. He is accused of firing at a former friend near Hollywood Hotel in 2021 and could get a maximum of 24 years in prison if convicted. 24 years via 180 days. Oh, yo. This is such a bad move. But hey, let's see how it plays out. It's looking kind of crazy for him in regardless. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. Either way, I really don't know what's going on. I wish I fucking did. Big up Fashion Roadman. Rocky is too old to be behaving like this. Definitely agree. Big up Jordan Ray. If my wife was a billionaire, I would be in Morocco not entertaining any beef. Exactly. I think at that time, 2021, they probably had, no, they had 1 kid, right? Or 2 kids. They already had 1 kid. So they're already building this family. She's fully out of music. She's fully a billionaire. Like, I don't know why he's having beefs with his former friends. Like, you live in LA, bro. Like, you're in the hills, hidden hills, behind a big wall somewhere. You probably don't see these people. Even if they live in LA together, I'm sure if you're a dad, I think if you're a dad, and you have a wife, you just don't see certain people because your time is taken up with looking after your kid and your family. So I don't know. Big up Base Fashion Roadman. Rocky has way too much to lose to be getting himself involved in this kind of shit. Some people don't learn. The man has kids to take care of. Yeah, but that's the thing though. If you're a fan of music and you're a fan of Rocky and ASAP Mob, you would have known this guy's always had a bit of a temper anyway. Back when ASAP Mob were coming up, he'd always be the first to jump in the crowd and start fighting people in the crowd and shit. This is just an extension of that. He's never grown up and matured out of that thing of like, yeah, man, we're fashion niggas. I know I wear like skinny jeans and I've got this like effeminate clothing and shit, but don't think I'm sweet. You know? He always had that chip on his shoulder. So he'd always kind of rush people, which was funny when they first started, right? But they were like 21 then. When you're fucking 36, not so much. It doesn't seem as cute, you know? Well, a sane take from Azealia Banks is a rare collector's card. Big up Don Dutta. That's the thing though. I don't know how much I buy into Azealia Banks' explanation. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds amazing. I'd love it for it to be true because it's very juicy and sounds fucking super salacious. But I don't sure how much of this I buy. I'm not gonna lie. It just sounds a little bit improbable. That Rihanna would be, don't get me wrong, I could see Rocky having a fragile ego and being somewhat insecure, even though he looks the way he looks and most women like him. He's always the one that person you'd imagine the crew that gets the most chicks. I could also imagine if your wife is saying to you one of your friends is hot, even the most secure guy can maybe feel a little bit of twinge of jealousy. But I couldn't see it going to the extent he was going to shoot his friend, you know? And I also don't see Rihanna moving that recklessly. If she knows her guy might have a little bit in him where he gets a little bit when you mention other dudes are attractive, I wouldn't see why she would go out of her way to kind of openly flirt with somebody. You know what I mean? It wouldn't make no sense to me in that regard. Would she do it behind his back? Maybe. But do it in front of his face when she takes him to Harlem? When he takes her to Harlem? I'm not too sure. It just sounds too juicy. Big up Jordan Ray. Azealia Banks is not a credible source or anything. Big up. But you know, she is though a little bit. Like I said, because she's got a 12, so she knows those guys intimately. She knows those guys better than we know them anyway. So she does have some knowledge of that crew. Rocky was bugging. Big up Fresh and Roadman. One day for 20 years exactly. Big up. Who's this? Big up Cheeky, or is it Shek I? Your lawyers would only let you turn it down if 1, they could beat it, and 2, drag it out long enough. What does dragging out long enough do though, by the way? Big up Checky. What does dragging it out long do? But dragging it out, you still have to reach a conclusion though. There still has to be a verdict. It's not going to help you beat the charges, no? Let me know in the stream chat, Chick or Sheik. If you drag it out, what happens? Yes, you tire everybody out and you just want to get it over, but you still have to find a verdict. You still have to reach a verdict, sorry. It's not like you could just escape from the charges. Yeah, I'm surprised these lawyers would turn it down. But I also read something that said the reason why Rocky turned it down was because he has deals now currently that would mean if he accepted responsibility of what happened, for instance, if he accepted 2 counts, because it says in an article that part of the plea deal, he would have to be guilty of 2 things, right? Where is it? The agreement offered a 36-year-old to plead guilty on 1 of 2 counts of felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. So I read somewhere that said if he pled guilty to that, it would automatically void certain deals he had. So maybe JW Anderson, Luebe, whoever deals he has with some brands, they would immediately get terminated. So he didn't want to risk that. But surely that doesn't matter. That short-term thing, like, your freedom is most important. Like, who cares about the money? Like, your freedom should be important. But allegedly that's why he turned it down, because he didn't want to risk having those deals get fucking terminated because he's been found guilty of those things. Big up Fashion Roadmap. If he doesn't beat the KSGG, as a Drake Glazer last year, I feel vindicated. Yeah, big up Farmer Town. Oh my god. Big up HH. Harlem Ninjas are the worst. Will clown your fit in front of your mum. They probably had underlying tension and Riri set it off with complimenting his homie. No, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Big up HH there. Yeah, I agree with that. If this guy, how he sounds, quite mild-mannered, quite chill, quite relaxed and shit, quite grown up, if he was the one that was calling out Rocky for maybe not really helping out people and being a little bit greedy and shit, I can see maybe that being part of the tension, just generally. Like, this guy not liking how Rocky's moving. And then when Rihanna's like, oh, your guy is really fine. I mean, your friend is really good looking. That could probably send him over the hill. But I'm not too sure I believe all this whole thing about Rihanna was all up in his face, kissing his neck and shit. And then Rocky went crazy. I don't think Rihanna's going to move that crazy. I don't think she's that reckless personally, but I could be wrong. Either way, Rocky looks like he's in big trouble. The video of them in court is fucking hilarious, by the way. Rocky's just sitting there looking at his friend in the fucking stand as he's testifying against him, giving him the evil it looks like, but also just kind of like bewildered how he's there. Like, fuck, you know, how did it get to this place? How did I end up here? You know, it kind of, that's what it feels like. It feels like how did I end up here? So yeah, this is the clip actually courtesy of Tony Yayo on Vlad. He says the same thing actually on here regarding the never seeing somebody that's been shot not get someone that's, you know, survived the shooting, not get the person that shot them convicted. Oh, this is a Vlad clip. It might actually fuck me over. Let's play a little bit of it here.
they still alive and they willing to take the stand. If somebody's saying you shot him and they still alive and they willing to take the stand, in my eyes, you're not gonna beat the fucking case.
Yeah.
I never seen that in my life. Somebody saying,
yep, that's it. He's right. He's fucking right. So I don't know why Rocky didn't take the plea deal, but I guess he might know something that we don't. I guess he might know something that we don't.